when you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality. Who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Hi, I'm John Mallison. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Monday morning. It is gorgeous outside. You know what? If you like Big Bird, if you like Barney, if you like Elmo, you are going to love our show today. We're talking about PBS, public broadcasting. We have a guest in our studio, 436 MeTV option 11. Remember, if you call in, do not wade through the message, and also turn down the sound if you call in, because otherwise we won't be able to hear you. We're back with our program in just a moment. And welcome back to the program. Hope you had a great weekend, and we're glad to be back here on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6 with all of our viewers here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno, on a very exciting day because, you know, I got to tell you something. When I grew up in the 60s, we didn't have PBS. There was no such thing as PBS. We watched cartoons. I watched Roadrunner, and I can't remember what else. I mean, I watched all sorts of cartoons, but no PBS. But both my kids have grown to watch PBS. It was a ritual in our house each and every morning, Monday through Friday before I went to work. My kids love to watch PBS programming. You know the slogans on PBS? Hey, it's America's largest classroom. It's the trusted window to the world. Let's go to the videotape and I'll take you to the trusted videotape. However, in recent years, federal funding for PBS, in case you haven't noticed, has gone down, including right here in Fresno at Valley PBS. They are relying more and more on public donations from people like you and raising money. The president and the CEO is Paula Castadio. She knows all about that because part of her job includes trying to establish a community awareness about Valley PBS, which she's doing, of course, all throughout the Valley, and trying to help secure the station's financial future. And who knows better than Paula? She came up through the ranks at Valley PBS, having started back in 1994 as development director, which included membership, underwriting, and auctions, and fundraising, and all the rest. Then she became the station manager and reorganized the management team before reaching the pinnacle, the top, president and CEO, a position that she holds right now and she has held for the past 10 years. Live in our studio right now is Paula Castadio, the president and the CEO of Valley PBS. We're glad to have her here. And your phone calls are important, 436 MeTV option 11. Hey, what was Mitt Romney thinking last year during the debate? What? Get rid of Big Bird? No, say it's not so. Call in 436 MeTV option 11. It is so. We're here today and we're glad to have you along. We're back with our program in just a moment.
1 Adam 12.
This is Adam 12. It stars Martin Milner as Officer Pete Malloy, Kent McCord as Officer Jim Reed.
1 Adam 12, roger.
This black and white patrol car has an overhead valve V8 engine. It develops 325 horsepower at 4,800 RPMs. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It has a top speed of 120 miles an hour. The automobile has 2 shotgun racks, one attached to the bottom portion of the front seat, one in the vehicle trunk.
You want me to drive?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Oh, we're so happy to be here today, and we're happy to introduce Paula Castadio, the President and CEO of Valley PBS.
Hi,
How are
John.
you?
I'm great. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
We're thrilled that you're here to talk about, what's it called? What's the trusted window to the world?
Of course. It's absolutely, actually, it's the most trusted institution in America.
Really?
And that has been proven 10 years running via an independent national Roper poll.
Is that right?
So that's right. So the word trust is really synonymous with public broadcasting.
You know, I talked about funding. Mm-hmm. Okay. you know, here's your chance. You got a half hour to pitch all kinds of people, but I want to get to the bottom of this. How are you guys doing financially? How much money are you lacking, or how much money do you have, or what's your financial status?
All that.
Dying to know.
Dying to know. Well, I can tell you. Let me step back just a little bit. I would say that we were at the height of our health just prior to the recession, so this is not unusual for any business. During the recession, we had to continue to tighten our belt all along the way. Fortunately, we did that, so we were never in a crisis mode. And we automated some things. We started to outsource some activities, and we did have some cutbacks as well. During that time, we got a little leaner, so our team is smaller than it's been in years past, but we've got a sharp group of people, and they're doing amazing work for our community. As far as our budget goes, we're about $3.2 million budget. And 80% comes from our community and 20% comes from the federal government.
Now, you're talking prior to the recession. You're talking prior to 2006 and 7, right? You were at the height.
At the height.
Okay, and then after that. So a $3.2 million budget a year?
Yes.
Are you meeting that goal?
Yes,
you
absolutely.
Are. And beyond, maybe a little?
No, when we break even more or less. I mean, we'll exceed just a little bit each year, but not significantly. We know pretty much what our sources of revenue are. They tend to be fairly stable. We add some new activities from year to year, but we're usually just pushing for budget.
I mentioned your job description, obviously, in the monologue on what you do. What is your job as the president and the CEO? Is it to go out in the community and build awareness?
Absolutely. That's a good question. It's a little bit of everything, which is why I love my job. It makes my work really dynamic because I manage a team of about 30. And and we have various departments to keep the station running. But then I'm out in the community quite a bit, calling on donors in the community, hooking up with nonprofit organizations to develop partnerships for productions or community outreach, addressing issues that are important to our area. I'm also internally on television, which is fun. So I'm a host as well. So a little bit of everything. It's a very dynamic place to work. What's
the reaction when you go out regarding PBS? Are there still some people out there that agree with what Mitt Romney said a year ago in the debate, or are those people still? You don't think there's not here. Not here. Yeah, not here. I mean, number one, 50% of our schedule is dedicated to children, and so I think the folks here in our valley really appreciate that public television is here for our kids. And so I don't run into that very much. Well, that's good. That's a good thing, because you know what? Both my kids have grown. They watch PBS. I'm not kidding. I'm not saying it because you're here. It was a ritual every morning in our house. We watched, I don't know what order they came. We watched Big Bird.
Parents usually know the order and the songs.
I know, and Elmo and all those. And I just know my kids loved it.
They do.
And I can't imagine my world or any world without PBS, and the programming is just terrific on there.
Well, I would just say that you're a good parent because it's really important to start your kids with public broadcasting. When kids are the most impressionable, which is age 2 to 8, public broadcasting is the safest place to have kids watch television. And kids today are watching on average about 4 hours of television a day, which is incredible. And so parents need to understand that it's important to put them, if they are going to watch television, to have them watch television that is quality, educational, entertaining, and also very nurturing for their kids.
I'm upset with you.
Why?
Because
what did I do?
Barney is off PBS. What is up with that?
Barney did go off here in our valley. That was a programming decision.
All right.
And we have some other great programs. This one I really love. It's called Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. And you didn't grow up with PBS, but many people grew up with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Daniel Tiger is an animated little tiger, and he wears Mr. Rogers' little red sweater and little shoes, and the show is all about the values of Mr. Rogers, which is cool.
Hey, I want to put up a full screen because we talked about funding, and this is your chance to make your pitch out there. Let's take a phone call first. Okay. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me with Paula Castadio. What's your question?
Hi. How did PBS handle, or what was the effect of this whole the Elmo fiasco? I mean, I still watch PBS, but now when my kids want to watch Sesame Street, I'm kind of reluctant because of the whole thing that happened with that Elmo character, the guy that played the Elmo character.
Yeah.
I mean, that affected me, affected my way of thinking. I thought that there was more tighter controls over there.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you don't know what's happening with people that represent your organization. And
he was talking about the whole Elmo controversy.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I know.
And
what was the outcome of that? I lost track of it.
I know he's no longer working for Sesame
PBS,
Street
yeah.
for Sesame Street.
Sesame Street, yeah.
Right, which is the children's network, and so I don't know. I don't think that's representative of the values of public broadcasting. So I definitely encourage you to continue to have your child watch, but I understand your concern.
Yeah, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. I want to put up on the screen some full screens here of the funding for PBS, and we talked about that earlier. And you can look up there too. And this is stuff I've read. Now I hope these figures are at least close to being accurate. Collecting about $451 million a year from the government, about 0.012% of the federal budget. That's how much it makes up. That's how much money actually goes to PBS. Part of that money goes to 360 PBS affiliates around the country. Of course, there are other ways that you can get money. Fundraising, donors. I don't know if you still do auctions.
Auctions and events and business sponsorships and grant writing and foundation support. It's lots of gifts from lots of different sources that make up public broadcasting.
Right, and so when you go to an event, Paula, and you're invited to an event, let's say donors, potential donors, what's your biggest pitch? What's the number one line
I think
that you have etched in your brain?
Well, I mean, our mission, I'll go to our mission. Our mission is about educating, enriching, and engaging our Valley audiences to strengthen the Valley community. So I think, I talk about community is really what it's all about.
You're on the air. Go ahead. Caller?
Yes, I was wondering, two things. What was the budget before the recession? And then also, is there any chance to have Mr. Rogers' show come back in reruns? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. No, Mr. Rogers, the rights are no longer available for that program, but his wife is the one that actually supported the new animated series, Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. And then the budget, I would say, was $4 million. So we decreased quite a bit. We had a couple of major productions that we were doing that went by the wayside during the recession because of their budgets. And because of that, we had to do some quick maneuvering to just stay in budget and to navigate the recession.
Yeah. You do some on-air pitching at your station.
I do.
Personally. Okay. You have to ad-lib. You're hosting a show. You're looking into the camera. And you're basically pleading for money. Is that difficult to do?
No, I think that's easier than talking in person. Sometimes one-on-one. Yeah, because it's a camera.
I've never been good at pleading for money.
Can I
have some money? That would be a problem for me.
Well, I think when you believe in your cause, it's easier to do.
Yeah.
And when people are, and people, if they have an interest, then they're responsive.
Right.
So it works.
We've got a piece of videotape of Paula Castadio in the studios at Valley PBS and making her pitch. Let's take a look and a listen.
When you call, we will be so thankful for your support. We'd love to hear from you right now. Call the numbers on your screen, 1-800-655-1800. And when you support Valley PBS, you're showing your commitment to quality children's programming in the Central Valley for our kids and for our adults. So give us a call right now. We'd love to hear from you. Call us at 1-800-445-1800. And when you call, we have our operators. They'll be standing by. They're ready to take your call. And your gift of support makes a huge difference here at Valley PBS. It signals that you believe in what we do for our entire Central Valley, from Merced in the north to Bakersfield in the south. We'd love for you to give us a call, join our family at Valley PBS. Do so right now.
That was done not long ago.
No, and your cameras were there, and so I just went into my little quick pitch
mode.
There you go. And so you asked what is my favorite pitch message, and it's really about our children. It's about our, we are the most watched children's channel in the Valley, and we reach kids ages 2 to 11, and so that's the thing that I am most proud of at the station.
Before I run the next piece of video, it's of Mitt Romney. Why do you think that PBS is good for kids, ages 2 to 8?
Well,
what does it
tell
teach
you,
them?
That's a great question, because every single program that we have aligns with the Common Core standards. So when parents have their children...
Which are what?
which are all the standards that our schools have to adhere to. Our programs are designed to make sure that they align with either math or science or the socio-emotional related activities, as well as literacy. So when a child watches our program, they're learning something along the way. They don't even realize really that it's all meant to be educational because the programs are so entertaining.
How does it help them emotionally and mentally?
Emotionally, oh, there's so many ways. In fact, I think that children who watch PBS tend to be really, great kids because they learn how to be kind. They learn how to love and hug. They learn how to be respectful. They learn etiquette along the way. They learn not to be a bully. All of these things are really important for kids, and our programs role model good behaviors.
Another call. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Hello?
Good morning. I am so happy and delighted that you guys have this wonderful woman. I am a PBS kid. I will always be a PBS kid. I enjoyed watching Jumper Room, The Electric Company, and of course, Sesame Street. My children are in college as a result of public broadcasting. I thank you so much for what you offer, especially to neighborhoods that didn't offer Head Start programs and enrichment programs, for women that couldn't afford child care and adequate educational services for our children. Thank you, and God bless you. My son was senior first state.
Okay.
I started college at 15. My youngest son.
All right, thank you. We're having a little bit problem there hearing some of the audio, but a very positive phone call. I do have the Mitt Romney video. I do have to take a break because we're running long, but we'll play it on the other side and we'll get some comments about it. We're talking with Paula Castadio. She is the president and the CEO of PBS, Valley PBS, here in the Central Valley. We'll be back with your phone calls. Remember, if you call in, try to turn down the sound on your TV set or we will not be able to hear you. We're back with our program in a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the program on Connect with Me, and you might recall in the debate, presidential debate last October, of course, it was Romney versus Obama. I think this was the debate that took place, was it in Denver? I think it was in Denver. I think the one in Denver where he talked about PBS, and he said point blank, well, instead of me saying it, why don't we just play the videotape and just let our viewers relive the moment?
Well, first of all, I will eliminate all programs by this test if they don't pass it. Is the program so critical it's worth borrowing money from China to pay for it? And if not, I'll get rid of it. Obamacare is on my list. I apologize, Mr. President. I use that term with all respect, by the way. Good. Okay, good. So I'll get rid of that. I'm sorry, Jim. I'm going to stop the subsidy to PBS. I'm going to stop other things. I like PBS. I love Big Bird. I actually like you too. But I'm not going to keep on spending money on things to borrow money from China to pay for it.
Why was that a bad move on his part?
Well, I will just say that, every dollar that we get from the federal government, we raise another $5 from our community. So it's a really wonderful investment. And as you said, it's such a small percentage and it has huge impact. I mean, the one thing with television is it reaches thousands of people at a single time. So it's really a great investment for our country in so many ways. Not only our kids, but also our adults.
How much do you think that hurt him in the presidential race?
Well, I'm not sure that was a right strategic move because public broadcasting fans are so loyal, and I know that they immediately responded to that. And, our fans are from both sides of the aisle. The calls and the feedback went, it just went crazy for that. So
it really doesn't matter what your political agenda is. I mean, both sides of the aisle, like you say, Republicans, Democrat, conservative, liberals, all on the same side. They love PBS.
That's right.
They really do.
That's right. And so,
Yeah. Let's put up a full screen, one more full screen. We'll take a look at some of the programming that is on PBS. We're all familiar with the kids programming, Big Bird, Elmo, Barney, Mr. Rogers, of course, from years past.
Yeah.
The News Hour.
Right.
How old is that program?
Oh, that's a good question. It probably almost from the beginning of time, too.
40 years,
maybe 40 years.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's been quite that long. But
And I got to tell you, these are some of my favorites. I love Nova and Frontline. I've watched those for many years, and I love Charlie Rose. And then just recently you had Kennedy Center Honors.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm leaving out there the Antiques Roadshow.
Absolutely. Huge. Actually, probably one of our top-rated programs. And then Downton Abbey. Don't forget Downton Abbey.
Okay.
This is huge. It's coming January 5th, and it was a phenomenon around the country because it attracted 76% more audiences to a public broadcasting program than any other program. It was the most highly rated drama on public television in all our years.
Are you still running Huell Hauser, even though
yes.
sadly he passed away?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Absolutely. And Huell was a friend of mine and was very sad about his passing. His programs continue to air, and they're on Wednesday nights. And we coupled his program with Valley's Gold. And Valley's Gold.
Ryan Jacobson.
Right.
Okay.
And so that is sort of our local opportunity to feature some of the great things that are happening here in our agricultural community.
Yeah, Ryan's a great guy.
Yeah.
He was a guest here a couple of weeks ago. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Yes, well, I commend Channel 18 for its purpose, and the children's programming is a gimme, and I'd love to watch Nature and Nova every day. But the self-help commercials and the oldies music and the backstory of Downton Abbey is a bit too much. Are they going to expand any type of Nature and Nova type programming?
Are you, because you're kind of speaking a little bit to our membership campaigns, is that right?
Yes.
Commenting about that. And so what was the question specifically?
I was wondering if you were going to expand on the programming like Nature and Nova.
For
which
pledge
I think
drives?
Is very interesting. Pardon?
For pledge drives?
Just programming in general.
In general. Well, Nature Nova is a weekly program, and so it's on every week except for during our membership campaigns. And, our membership campaigns are our time to reach through the camera and invite member support, which is about 80% of our support for the station. So it does interrupt our core programming, which I completely understand. That's frustrating for some of our viewers. But many of our viewers like both. They like the pledge drives and the celebrations that we have and all the new programs that come through during those campaigns, as well as our core programs. So I appreciate that you like Nature and Nova.
Yeah. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Running short. Yeah, thank you very much. All right. Take care. Have a good day. Running short on time. Going to be back here with Paula Castadio, the president and the CEO of Valley PBS, in just a moment.
Now, why don't you tell us the whole story right from the beginning? All right. From the beginning. This is the city, Los Angeles, California. My name's Friday. I carry a badge. Police officers.
You any idea who the other man was?
My partner's Bill Gannon.
Program?
We got just one big question.
Yeah.
When?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here on Connect with me and Paula Castadio. We do have another piece of videotape I want to show at the Valley PBS stations located on Van Ness, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look here. And you can narrate over this. You're standing over one of your employees
Josue
there.
Gomez, and let me do a shout out to him right now. He just had to be taken to the hospital, so he's not doing well. He caught a really serious virus. But he is a master editor, does a fabulous job for us. He is also the editor and cameraman for Valley's Gold, which has been a very popular program for us on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, which features Ryan Jacobson from the Fresno County Farm Bureau and our wonderful agricultural community that feeds the world. So great show. I encourage people to check it out. And in fact, that's what's on the screen, the upper TV screen you see there. He was monitoring Valley's Gold.
Okay, so you guys were in the process of editing it. You were in an editing session, basically.
Right.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, let me ask you a question, and I don't know how much you can delve into this, but KCET, we do have another phone call. I'll get to that in a minute here. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question and a comment. First question is, whatever happened to the new Yankee workshop? I am a big fan of that, and I used to be very, very irritated every time I turned around. They were preempting the new Yankee Workshop. Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if the rights ended. I'm not quite sure why it's not on our air currently. I do think that it is on our second channel, which is called Valley Create, and it's our how-to channel, and it has all the woodworking programs on there, so I encourage you to find Valley Create.
Okay. Thank you for the call. I want to get back to my question. KCET, that's a television station down in Burbank in the Los Angeles area. Let me explain what happened to our viewers here. KCET left PBS in a storm of controversy back in 2010 after battling the network over dues and other issues. Since then, the station has struggled, though, to regain its footing, its identity, and pledges and ratings have actually gone down. And so my question to you is there any danger that you'll separate yourself from PBS?
I don't think that's a smart move, actually. I mean, PBS is what generates our funding for public broadcasting, and so no. I mean, we would try to work whatever issues were out with PBS, the national, mothership, and continue to serve our public with
so
public broadcasting.
You guys have a good working relationship up to this point.
Absolutely, and dues is part of our platform. It's part of our obligation. The money that we get from the federal government, we turn around and send it right back to PBS to pay for the programming. And so none of that money really sticks here locally, except for that it provides the programming for our Valley viewers. And so in this regard...
what happened here? Are you
able
to talk about it, or
I'm not fully able to talk about it. I'm on the National PBS board, and KCET was an important channel for our system because it served the entire LA area. I do know that KOCE in Orange County picked up the service and is trying to become a larger national public broadcasting station for that area. So the services have continued, which is good. In our market, how it relates to us is they overlapped with us in Bakersfield. And really, for the size of Bakersfield, we shouldn't have two PBS stations. So I'm actually, in that regard, pleased that Public Valley PBS continues to be there, that we can continue to serve, and that we can go it alone, because we really don't need to duplicate services in such a small community.
How many areas does Valley PBS cover? How many counties?
We cover from Merced in the north to Bakersfield in the south.
All the way down to Bakersfield. So you get into the Bakersfield market.
Oh, absolutely. Full footprint across the Central Valley.
So you don't ever see, this is not a danger for us here.
No,
good.
No, that would be not what we would choose to do. We would always try to sustain our public broadcasting station, whether, if down the road, if finances were an issue, we could just pipe through the PBS programming and maybe not do as much local productions.
In other words, what I hear you saying is there's always a way to work it out if there are differences, right? There's always a way.
That's right.
And so if people want to become members, if they want to donate, we've got about a minute and a half. Here's your pitch.
Well, do it now. No. What do they do? What do they do? How do they do it? They make a gift of support. In fact, go online at valleypbs.org and make a donation. Any amount is appreciated for the station. It truly is every single individual coming together to make public broadcasting whole. We've been here 37 years because of you, and we're so grateful for your support. So really, we're a nonprofit organization. We're completely mission-driven, non-commercial, and so we depend on those folks that care enough about our programming to make it happen.
I guess I have to say to the viewers too, I am a little partial because of my kids, and I really was attached to PBS when my kids were really between the ages of 2 and 8 because we were so dedicated to watching, and I think it is good for kids and from the educational standpoint. But even before then, back in the 80s, I would watch Frontline. Frontline was a great program. They did I remember a documentary Jessica Savage did years ago on NFL gambling. And I wish you guys could replay that.
Well, journalism on public broadcasting is by far and above, the gold standard in my view. And quality journalism is so essential today. And so Frontline is a great example of that. PBS NewsHour is another one.
Nova.
And then what we do locally, always trying to present both sides of a story so that people can make up their own decisions about what they believe.
Anything we can do to help, let us know.
Thank you.
Be
Being
glad to
here
support.
is,
Yeah.
it helps.
Come
So
back
thank
anytime.
You.
Thank you,
Paula,
for your
appreciate
time.
it.
I know how busy you are. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Paula Castadio, the president and CEO of Valley PBS. We're glad you came along for the ride today. That's going to do it for Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. Hope you have a great day. See you back here live tomorrow for another show.